Our Retro Ranch Reno is ready, and it's time for the reveal. We're going room by room, and today I'll show you the living room and dining room. What constitutes a great makeover? You know, I think it's all about change. It's about starting with a before, check it out, sunken living room, and ending up with a completely different after. And sometimes that involves blood, sweat, and tears, and it's a battle from the beginning to the end. And other times, it just feels like it was meant to be. And I think that's partly attributable to starting with a space that has good bones. From minute one, I thought this living room had better than good bones. It had great bones. It had fun features. If you love open plan living, this is the kind of house you want to be in. And I was jazzed to dig in and turn this place into something totally different. But you know what I didn't do here? This was not about anything structural. This was not really about anything expensive. This was about the glory of the tweak. So let's think about the early days and the early stages of how we got from where we were to where we are. Okay, step one, removing the fireplace. Nobody misses that. Alex and the team pulled down the stone that was cladding this fireplace, and now we've ushered in a layer of light and bright. We've reclad the original existing fireplace insert with new marble. And this marble isn't new marble, this marble is remnants of marble that my fabricator cobbled together and created an affordable yet fantastic end solution for me. I absolutely love it. Big game changer number two in here is the transition from dark and heavy to light, bright, and airy. This is like a cloud now. This is the cloud room, right? Think about that pine. It was all shiny, it was brown.
Okay, predictions, people. How many natural or wood-colored things that are here now are gonna still be here when we're done?
0.
We sprayed it all white. The walls, the ceiling, everything is sprayed the same color, and I know you're gonna ask. This is called White on White by Glidden ICI Deluxe. This is, without a doubt, my favorite white, and I think it is just the ideal backdrop here. It has a teeny, teeny, teeny bit of cream in it. It's not blue, it's not yellow, it's not gray, it's not beige. It's just perfect. All these boards were here. Remember these boards? I mean, can you believe how different it looks? Sometimes people ask me, they say, I really want to paint the paneling in my house, but my partner, my spouse, my whatever doesn't want to. How do I convince them? Show them this, because this is so dramatic. That is, if you like bright, fresh spaces, and that I do. We didn't even have to replace the windows in here. They were done just a few years ago, but we did replace the trim and the baseboards. We now have flat stock for a contemporary, crisp look. And if you're wondering, yes, it is worth the small effort to replace the trim because it just looks so much better. It ties into the overall feel that we were going for. Here's a big change we made. Remember how there was an exterior door that came into the living room? This is, I guess, the original main door. That just didn't make sense. By closing that extra doorway off, we gave extra space to the bathroom, but we also got the feeling of extra space here in the living room because we now have one continuous wall and a great spot for an oversized sofa. The other thing we did to make that placement of the sofa possible, if you remember, we shifted the stairs. They used to be at one end, and now we put them right directly in the middle of the room. This creates both a passageway and a sight line to the patio doors that lead to outside, but it also creates better flow both from the dining room and from the kitchen into this sunken living room. I don't know what it is about this sunken living room, but it just has such a fun feel. Is it kind of Brady Bunch? I'm not sure, but it's a great modern throwback. To make sure that this felt open and seamless between the sunken space and the raised kitchen and dining room adjacent, we've installed our favorite glass and stainless steel railing system. You may remember this from our contemporary chalet project. This is made by Invisirail. And the neat thing about it is we were able to use in-stock glass panels with their in-stock components and just install it here on site to fit with the openings we have. Easy peasy, done in a heartbeat, and makes such a dramatic change. One thing we did add was a second post. So originally there was only one post on one side of the room, and because I am a creature who loves symmetry, we added a secondary post on the opposite side so that we have the exact same panels and our centered stairs here. The good news is the broadloom that was here was ready to be replaced. So we installed hardwood floors throughout. And these hardwood floors were a great find. I called my supplier and I said, hey, I'm doing this project. It's not a money is no object project. By any chance, are there any flooring options that are being discontinued, offered at a discount? And they gave me this sample. I mean, why would anybody discontinue these floors? They're gorgeous. The color is amazing. It is European white oak with a soft, almost whitewash finish on it that just further reinforces the envelope of light and bright and crisp contemporary style. Where do you start when it comes to room design? You have to know what your end game goal is. For this living room, I wanted easy, breezy, laid back, casual, comfortable, and bright. And you may think, Sarah, there is too much white in there. In my world, you can never have too much white. And these sofas are covered in easy to remove washable slipcovers. So don't panic, it's all good. It's super easy to wash. I wanted oversized, extra deep, slouchy, comfortable, kick up your feet ease. And I also wanted them to be affordable with nice lines. Check, check, check. I got everything I was looking for. Yes, I wanted it light and bright, airy and breezy, and lots of white, but I also wanted all the spaces in this sort of principal area to feel grounded and cool and have a sense of strength. So the kitchen has lots of charcoal gray contrasted with bright white. In the living room, we've got more white contrasted with those same charcoal accents. So you'll notice there's a pair of side tables that have a banded treatment in a deep charcoal finish. Those are from my new furniture collection, Sarah Richardson for Palliser. Also, the rug that I'm standing on, it's so cozy and soft underfoot, and it has a simple geometric pattern that blends cream and charcoal and pale gray together. So it looks light and it looks airy, but it's actually super durable and practical. We have a leather ottoman, also from my collection, so you can put your feet up. You can wipe it off and you don't even have to worry. We've got a pair of cowhide stools here, and they're super fun because they have a little bit of a scoop on the top. They're great for pulling in as extra seating or for putting your feet up on. And one of the things about this room is it looks like it lives large. It feels airy, it feels spacious, but you know what? It's not actually a huge room. So I fit in the maximum number of pieces I felt that I possibly could. We have an armchair nestled up by the fire because I always think if you're gonna have a real fireplace, you need to be able to get close. You need to be able to get cozy and comfortable. And if you're looking at this chair thinking, Sarah, this chair feels very tailored and very upright. Is it actually comfortable? Oh, yes it is. Looks can be deceiving. I know, it looks so streamlined. It looks tailored. It looks like it's all about looks and not about comfort, but that is not true. This is a great fireside chair because it's light enough that you can pull it in towards the fireplace. You can relocate it wherever you want and just put your feet up on this footstool. I am all about having footstools that also double as movable stools that act as extra seating when you're entertaining, because now you can fit, I don't know, 12 people in here, 10 people for sure. And I think that that's important, is I like things that feel flexible, but I also didn't want this room to feel overly cluttered. One of my new finds that I'm super excited about, these floor lamps. Look how crisp and modern they are. They turn on with the touch of a finger, LED lighting, they direct the light down, and they just play into this really graphic mix in this room. You may be thinking, Sarah, this room doesn't feel like you. And I would say this room is completely me. Whenever I'm tackling a project, I always want to think about what the house wants to be. And I always think it's important to listen to the architecture of the house and the setting and take all of your cues for what you're trying to achieve from what the house is telling you. And from the first minute I stepped foot in this house, it told me that it wanted to be pared back. It wanted to celebrate the clean lines, be unfussy yet comfortable. It wanted to be elegant yet approachable. So that's how we've arrived at all the decisions here. Have I missed anything? Oh, last little feature. Okay, coolest feature that I take no credit for, but would 100% repeat over and over and over again, and I think every house should have, the peekaboo firewood supply door. How great is this? You come in from the garage, open a door in the foyer, inside a closet where you can stack logs full and then pull them out this side for easy fireplace loading. If only there was a firewood fairy that would stock it. Wouldn't that just be the best ever? Whether it's winter or summer, this room feels light and bright, it feels cozy, it feels airy, and I think that the sofas offer the ideal vantage point for kicking back and having unobstructed conversation.
Or ATVs.
Yeah, ATVs. The main traffic on this road is either tractors or ATVs. This is country living at its finest. I think that one of the things that drew us to this house was the open concept plan. And we've tried to embrace it from the very beginning and make it better. And now I feel that the combination of the layout of the kitchen with the sight lines to the living room, it's all about having connectivity. You can be kicking back on the sofa, having a one-on-one conversation with the chef, and everybody feels like they are connected, yet in distinct spaces. And to me, this feels like a bit like a loft, a country loft. How often do you find that? A lifetime ago, I lived in a loft or two. And I think that ever since then, I am always drawn to that type of space, something that feels like it has high ceilings and distant views. And I think one of the best elements of being in this living room is you look out and you see the trees in the woods beyond, and it just allows your mind to kind of soar and daydream, and yet you have all the comforts of being inside and all the joys of being able to look out. So that's the living room. The living room is down just a couple of steps, but it's adjacent to the dining room. When we started this dining room, there was a column right here. Do we really need this wall? And it was making the dining room feel cramped and small, and the kitchen was giant. Well, the kitchen is still giant, but now, by being able to remove the non-load-bearing wall that had really nothing in it, oh, there was a thermostat in there, it's opened up the dining room and it has completely redefined the space. And so my advice to you is, if you're thinking about renovating and there's a wall where you don't want it, don't assume that it's unchangeable. Do definitely investigate and see whether it is structural and load-bearing or not. In our case, we were able to remove it, and voila! We now have an unobstructed view from the kitchen all the way through the dining room. And I can't possibly overemphasize how amazing it is now to have this one open plan concept. The layout of this house was always open concept, but now it is completely wide open. And realistically, that little section of wall, well, that wasn't gonna cut down on any noise. So if you're concerned about noise traveling in an open concept home, you definitely need spaces where you can get away and close a door. But this kitchen, dining, living room, that is not the place for that. This is the place for everybody to be able to be together. It's the place to let the sun wash in. As you can see right now, the afternoon sun is streaming in from the clear story windows, and you can see it pooling on the dining table. I mean, this whole space just feels so optimistic all the time. And I think that's part of what you achieve when you commit to keeping an entire space a single color. It makes it so easy. Just paint it all white. And then each piece that you introduce into the mix acts as an accent. One of my favorite accents is the built-in sideboard. And I think this is a great use of space here. What I wanted to do was create a seamless connection between the kitchen and the dining room. Well, yes, of course, it's a seamless connection because it's all one big open room. But what I wanted to do was reinforce the cabinetry that I was using in the kitchen. And fortunately, the in-stock cabinetry I was using comes in 2 depths for lower cabinets. It comes in both a 12-inch and a 24-inch depth. So I have 12 inches deep by 10 feet long. And look at it. It's like a beautiful counter. It's sort of like a mantle. It's a great space if you're entertaining. You could set it up like a buffet. Otherwise, the rest of the time, it acts like a console or a sideboard. There's room to have a little bit of display, a fresh plant, some beautiful flowers. And the best part of all, it offers ample extra storage because in an open concept house, you don't have tons of closets. So storage, storage, storage. Always look out for it. Always think about how you can add extra storage to make it go the extra mile. We've used the same dark gray cabinetry that we used in the kitchen, and then we've done a waterfall counter that comes down both sides. What you'll notice is we decided to do the kick on this cabinet in white. And so the kick and the waterfall is all done in white, contrasting against those dark charcoal cabinets, and this almost feels like it's floating. The wall sconces on either side were an add-on. They weren't originally here, but I just thought it would be nice. It almost acts like contemporary candlelight. They have LED bulbs in the top and the bottom that shine up and down the wall. So I'm a big fan of candlelight all the time, every night for sure. Doesn't matter what the season, I really love the glow. But knowing that not everybody is, a sconce properly placed can add that extra level of ambiance without having to restock candles on a regular basis. When you're thinking about pendant lighting in an open concept space, it's important to make sure that it all works together. It all has to resonate, it all has to communicate with each other, and it all has to tie together. But at the same time, do you want to have the same lighting over and over again? So in this open concept kitchen dining area, we have 4 different placements for lighting in here. So what was my recipe? I decided that everything should be consistent. Everything should be black. However, each pair of lights could be different. As long as they were contemporary and crisp and simple, I felt that it was okay to mix and match a variety of different light styles within one space. Do you agree? How did I do? As much as I love to mix and match finishes, I feel that it is much more harmonious in this space to just do one. Just choose one finish that you love, stick to it, commit to it, and run with it. So we've got black sconces that have a wiry frame, and they balance off the black pendants over the dining room that also have a wiry frame. Then we have a more solid profile on the peninsula pendants and also on the 2 sconces in the dining room. And in case you're wondering, did I know that this was where it was all going to be placed from the get-go? No. One of the things I always do is shop it around. So it's nice that we had pairs of lights because that way we tried. Did the lights look better here or did they look better there? What I like about these cage lights in the dining room is they're airy, they're open, they don't impede the view at all. And this dining room is all about affordability. The dining table is nice and big, it's chunky and solid, and it is extremely affordable. The dining chairs, well, I was putting the finishing touches on this house during the pandemic. So this was all about what could I find online, click, and have shipped directly to site. These dining chairs, they're comfortable, they're durable, they're wipeable. And comfort is key for me with a dining chair. I like something that supports my back, I like it to have a bit of a curve, I like a seat that's comfortable. Now, these are plastic, so there's no padding. However, it's amazing how comfortable they are. So this dining table will seat 10 people, and that is the ideal for me. I always want a house that can expand to accommodate a crowd, to make it great for entertaining, because when you're in the country, you don't necessarily have tons of people close by. So you have to be able to fling open your doors and have a gathering when that sort of thing is permissible. because lately our gatherings have looked a little bit like this.
Yeah, no, if we use a good primer on it.
You get the theme here, right? This whole dining room, this actually makes me laugh. This is the pandemic dining room. How funny to be designing a dining room for gathering when gathering is completely not allowed. Well, I'm an optimist and I know that that day will soon come when everybody can gather here together. In the meantime, this is a family-driven space. It's about having the dining room directly adjacent to the kitchen. These are durable materials, family-friendly, easy to clean, wipeable, and the dining room opens directly onto the sunken living room. What really works for me about this kitchen, living, dining room combination is it is strictly monotone. Everything is neutral. There is no accent of color. The only accent of color that's ever going to come into these spaces is an accent of something that's living. Whether it's flowers or fruit or a plant, that's it. Everything else sticks to a strict palette of white and cream and gray and charcoal, and that is, as I stand in the space, what makes it both soothing and engaging to the outdoors. So it's soothing when you're in the space because it all feels, I keep saying light and bright and airy, because honestly, that's what it is. But then it draws you outside and it draws your eye to what is happening outside. And whether it's winter and it's all white and gray and snow, or whether it's spring and it's bright green and it's blue skies and it's so inspiring. So that's it. That's our living dining tour. What's coming up next, you ask? Well, if you want to make sure you never miss an episode and you get to tour our entire Retro Ranch, you gotta subscribe. Follow along on my journey, and I'm gonna show you this whole house.